Okay, so I told you I was going to show you how to make a template for Teps-X, and we're going to make a Chroma Key template for a green screen background, and this is just the steps of how you create that. Now, you see on my screen, this is my final image, what I want my green screen to look like when I print it out. And when I print it out, there's going to be whoever I take a picture of standing in front of this oil rig, this pump. So I'm not going to teach you how to use Photoshop, because if you're watching this video you should already know how to do this, but I'm just going to show you the basic steps of how to create a green screen to be used with Teps. So if you go down to my layers palette, you'll see all these different layers that I've used to create this background. I've got the year, and I've got the text that I want to print on the front layer of the picture. I've got this little banner here. I've got their logo, and I've got the background image. So I've got all these layers here. The first thing I want to do is I want to go up here to go to File, and I want to go Save, and let me go back. I want to go File, Save As, and I want to save this file in the Teps Graphics folder. So I'm going to go up to the Teps Graphics folder, which I'm already in. I'm going to go up here to Rig Zone Energy Day 2014, which is the name of this event. And what I want to do is, this is the back image of my green screen. So I want to call this particular image back. And you notice in here I already have one called back. And I'm just going to save this as the same thing. This is just for demonstration purposes, but you can name it anything you want to. I just always call my image that I'm going to use as the background back. So I'm going to go up here and tell it I want to save this as a JPEG, and I'm just going to hit save, and it's going to warn me that I already have one called that. I'm just going to tell it to replace it, and I hit OK. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to turn this background image off. So I'm going to go down here in my layers palette, and I'm going to turn that layer off. And now all I have visible are the images that are going to be the overlay. And so I don't need the background on there. And I'm going to go up to one of the images that's active, and those are the ones that have the little eyeball. And make sure I'm on one that's active. And now I'm going to go to my layers palette, and I'm going to say merge visible. And now I'm going to go from there. I'm going to go to select. I'm going to say load selection. I'm going to make sure that invert is checked, and I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to go over into my Photoshop, and I'm going to go down to my channels tab. And you notice there's already things in my channels tab. There's these two right here. I'm just going to throw them away because they were in here previously. This particular file was made by Rig Zone and not created by me, so they'd already played around with it a little bit. But I'm going to throw those two away, and I'm going to create my own channel, which you do by just going down here to this little square with the white circle in the middle of it and clicking it one time. And you notice a new layer popped up there called Alpha 1. Alright, you're finished. Now all you need to do is go over to your color palette over here and make sure that it's set to default. You hit the letter D, and you notice that you have black on top of white. I want it just the opposite, so I'm going to hit this little arrow here and switch it. I want white on top of black. And I'm going to go up here to layer. I'm going to go to new, background by layer. And it fills in that mask with black. So black's going to be hiding. You're not going to see this overlay. You're not going to see what's in the black area because it's being hidden by this alpha channel. Alright, so now I go up to save, I'm going to do save as because I already have this file in there. I'm just showing you how to put it in there, and you want to always make sure it's in the Teps graphics folder. And I created this one. It's called Rig Zone Front. It's Rig Zone _ front, and this time we're going to save it as a Photoshop document, and we need to make sure that this alpha channel is selected. And then I'm going to just say hit replace. Okay. And now I'm done with Photoshop. I can close this out. I can close Photoshop. And now I'm going to go start Teps-X. I'm going to start it up. I'm going to go to set up utilities, set up a Chroma Key template, and I want to create a new template. And this is in the landscape orientation. So I'm going to say I want to print a 4x6 out. So I'm going to say I want a 6x4. Hit OK, and you notice there's a white canvas down there that's blank. The first thing you do is grab the graphic object tool, pull it down, make sure you're in the Teps graphics folder, find the folder where you saved that file. In this case it's a Rig Zone. I'm going to go to Rig Zone. I'm going to find the one that I named back JPEG, and I chose it. And you notice it's not filling the whole canvas, so all you do is hit Command R. It'll fill the whole screen. Next, go to the image object tool, pull that little man down, hit OK, hit OK again. Again, it didn't fill the whole canvas, so I'm going to hit Command R. Very important step here, make sure if it's a green screen that you check Use Chroma Key and hit Apply. Again, I'm going to go to the Graphic Objects tool, pull it down again, make sure I'm in the graphics folder, Teps graphics folder, go to my Rig Zone. This time I'm looking for the one I called Front, and it's a Photoshop document, so I'm going to hit this one. I'm going to double click it. Again, notice it didn't open up full screen, so I'm going to hit Command R, filled the whole screen, and now I'm done. So I'm going to go to Save, I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Save, and I'm going to either make a new category, and I name my categories by my customers, what type of event it is. In this case, we already have one called Rig Zone because we've done work for them before, so I'm going to go to Rig Zone, and I've already saved this file in here. So you'll see up here there's an image or a template, and down here is a template. This is the one I just created, but I saved it before I made this video. Very important, down here you see it says 2 and then it says underscore in landscape. If you make two different templates and say one's in portrait orientation and the other one's in landscape orientation, you need to name these files correctly so that Teps can use them in the correct orientation when you take pictures. What I mean by that is if I had made one that was portrait, I would name it the same as this one. I'd use the number 2 underscore and name it portrait. And now I've got this one here, it's called 2 underscore landscape. They both have to have the first part of the file name has to be the same, and then you do the underscore and then you add either landscape or portrait, and that tells it how to put the image that you take with the camera in the template, and it picks it automatically. So if I had two of these exact templates, one portrait and one landscape, I wouldn't have to switch back and forth. It would do that automatically for me. So I'm just going to hit cancel here because I've already got it in there. And then I can close this part of Teps out, and it's asked me, do I want to save? I don't want to. I've already done it. And now I go return to main. I'm going to go to preview images because I'm just on a sales station here. I'm going to go to my demo images. Or actually, I'll go to the Rig Zone images. There's some in here. I'm going to open it. And you're going to see there's a picture of Terry there. And I'm going to go and make sure that in my categories, I'm in the Rig Zone one. And it's going to bring up that template by me double clicking it And there's old Terry down there on that. And I'm going to just real quickly go over some settings in Chroma Key. One is the background. That's the part of the image that's green. So you want to, on the number 1, you want to drag somewhere you know is green. Number 2, you're looking for any shadows on the background. If you saw any shadows in this black area, you would, drag around those. There's not any on this one. Number 3 button is the actual image that you've taken of the person. And you notice there's some white and gray area here. You want to make this look as white as you can possibly get it. So I'm going to just kind of drag some in there. A little bit better. A little bit better. That's probably as good as I'm going to get. Important thing to do is go to this Shift Zoom. Click back on Shift Zoom. If you don't and you stay on Chroma Key and I double click this image up here and I go and I want to move Terry now, I try to move him, notice that you're starting to see that green down there again. Don't fear, all you got to do is hit Command Z to step back one and then go over to the Shift Zoom and make sure you have it picked. Now I can move him around anywhere I want to. He made another mistake. He caught some of the background off over here. And I'm going to go back into Chroma Key. This is a feature that I don't use very often, but it's handy. If you go down here, you got Junk Mask and Exclusion Mask. I'm going to show you how to use the Exclusion Mask in this case. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to pick the rectangle. And I'm just going to go and I'm going to draw a square. And I'm going to exclude in that square this pole over here and this pole over here, and I'm going to hit OK. And now it's only seeing the part of the exclusion mask that you selected, so those poles are no longer in the picture. Here's one of the quirks of Teps-X. Notice when I came out of that menu, it disappeared down here, and I don't have that Chroma Key menu anymore. If you just double click on the picture, it'll return. And just make sure, like I said, you're in Shift Zoom, and then you can zoom the picture in and out and move him around however you'd like to move him around. Alright, that's it. That's pretty much all that I can tell you on this video. And if you have any questions, email me or ask me when we're on a job and I'll show it to you.